Welcome back to the Cliff Diver's Edge, taking you from unhappy to radiantly happy within 30 days. The hidden gifts in adversity you never seen coming. So you've been going through some stuff. It feels like you're stuck in a relentless loop, unable to make a dent in the wall of adversities that's towering over you. It could be a breakup, a job loss, some health issues, some struggles, some challenges. And even through some coaching and therapy, no movement, no progress. Whatever it is, it's a heavy burden. Here's a question. Have you ever considered how challenges can be a blessing in disguise? If we take a situation, we can see it from many different viewpoints, right? If we go maybe 10,000 feet in the air. But often we're in the same rut and the same lows of life, and the laws of discipline bind us, and we find ourselves in an endless rut of complaining about our pain or our struggles. Seems like forever because we are ingraining these neural pathways just deeper and deeper, every hour, every day, every week, right? And I'm at fault too. As we go into today's video, I'll share a few examples how I've fell into that rut of the struggles and just focusing on what's not working. Lately, I've been trying to recover from a hurt shoulder injury, and I've set up appointments. I've had to take off work, and I've had to reschedule my days. And then when I arrive, it's like misdiagnosed. And the other day, it wasn't the right center. They said, "Well, we don't do that here." So we have to reschedule you here at another center, which is like miles away. So month after month of getting nowhere. When we're in this thick of adversity, it's easy to feel as if we're standing still. If we're not standing still, we're moving backwards. Every day is like a battle, and progress seems like a distant mirage. But the truth is, even at the darkest hours, we're evolving. We're building resilience and developing like coping mechanisms and gaining invaluable life experiences. It's like a caterpillar cocooning itself. On the outside it appears motionless, but within a remarkable transformation is underway. Like similarly, when we're faced with challenges, we may feel like stagnant, but on the inside, we're undergoing a profound metamorphosis. I don't know why, like after months of doctors or a center over here that I go to, or I got to, take off of work, they can't like do the right test, on it, and the right MRI, and say, okay, here, and start a plan. But months and months of getting nowhere, frustrated and angry and disappointed. So, there's some type of transformation underway. For you, it might be trying to communicate through a rocky or misaligned relationship with a husband or wife, a significant other, or maybe like a boss or a friend. It might be getting through some adversity or some challenges like health, what you were just saying, and getting through that. Maybe it's just overcoming something that's been plaguing you for 2 or 3 years, and you're still sort of in that same spot. Imagine standing on the helm of your yacht in the mid-Pacific waters, a turbulent sea of challenges raging around you. The wind, the storms, the huge swells crashing, black skies, no shore anywhere to be found. The wind howls, the waves thunderously crash, and you're sort of inside of this fear. So, like, fear grips your heart, and even perhaps the loved ones on your sailing vessel, your wife, your husband, your friends. Yet, within this vicious whirlpool, a hidden treasure awaits. Some type of gift is disguised as adversity. Navigation, getting through the storms, learning under the stress and panic. The 5 or 10 year vision of you at the helm and the captain of your ship, and that can handle anything thrown your way. But now that's not even anywhere like in your mindset. Almost like the cocoon, right? The butterfly and the transformation there. For centuries, we've been conditioned to view challenges as enemies or obstacles that stand in the way of our happiness. But what if I told you that these storms are actually opportunities in disguise? So let's challenge this long held belief. Imagine a world where every setback is a setup for a comeback, where every failure is a foundation for a future success, where every struggle is followed by a bounce, a low, and then a high, just like a springboard on a diving board. You've seen the springboards on usually a 1 meter or 3 meter. I like to use this analogy with all my clients and coaching sessions because sometimes we're in the low and we're in a rut. And we have that weight and the stress and the impact of bad habits, brings the board down, right? But it has that spring and that flexibility in it. So there's no way that board's gonna, you're gonna be standing on that board and it's gonna stay down, right? The spring and the momentum of the fiber on that is gonna flex and rebound, and the spring starts lifting you and building you and catapulting you into a new, a better you, a more successful you. Hard times always precede boom times. So the stiffer the springboard, the higher the dive. The harder, the thicker the board is to jump and bring all your weight into it, the higher it will take you into the air. Adversity is the fulcrum upon which success is elevated. A catapult requires tension before a great launch, a great cliff diving launch. Years ago, I was reading a Guidepost magazine, and this sort of article really caught my attention. And it was a really cool article about like how adversity could be like you get that strike of lightning on the opposite side of adversity, and it's just so beautiful and magnificent. So I wanted to share this when I was covering an article and writing this episode for the podcast, and what I can do to convey like adversity. And this story from Guidepost really caught my attention, so I started writing this. So years ago, Guidepost magazine, not too sure if the magazine's even around anymore, but it had a story, and it unfolded the tale of a Canadian family. It was a mother, father, and their son. A typical summer day saw the father and son wave goodbye to their beloved wife and the son's mother as they embarked on a fishing expedition on the formidable lake, right? They took all their lunches and maybe their lures and all their like supplies and things like that, and they headed out onto the lake. So, equipped with anticipation and supplies, they ventured into the vast expanse of the water. But, however, nature's mood that day and afternoon shifted dramatically, and the sky started to darken, and a tumultuous storm began to brew, right? Waves started getting a little higher, the clouds started getting even a little like darker. So the once tranquil lake transformed into a chaotic battlefield, tossing the boat a little bit and then a little bit more, and started like tossing them around like a little toy, and soon robbed them of their essential navigational tools, their compass or their GPS and things like that on the boat. So the compass and the directional markers were all lost. Then water started coming into the boat from all different corners. One hole turned into two holes, second hole turned into three holes, etc., etc. So the water started pouring in and sinking the boat. Lost in a drift, their situation grew increasingly perilous. Yet amidst the deepest despair, a glimmer of hope emerged. A plume of smoke rose in the far distance. So a beacon in the fearless sea. Where do we go? We're lost. We don't know where north is and south is. Water's coming into the boat. We have my son in the boat. Now we're talking about life and death. So way in the distance, a plume of smoke rose in the distance. A beacon in the fearless sea. With renewed determination, the father steered the damaged boat towards the promising smoke. Sort of like his only vision as far as like, oh, there's a little smoke. Okay, so there's some land over there. So a small gift that finally gave Dad a vision of where, in all the turmoil, that land or shore would be. So he had to steer the sinking ship towards that little smoke, right? So he turned hard with all his might and directed to the miles and miles and miles away for the smoke. The wind, the hail, the crash of the big waves brought more water in, but they started to get closer and closer to the huge, fire and the smoke, right? And a long ways away, finally, as they drew closer and closer, they seen the shore. Right, the smoke started getting bigger and bigger. And we're like, aha, finally to the shore. And then they started getting closer to where they can, get the boat into the land. And as they drew closer to the shore, they seen a wife or the mother, right, was running down to them, and their sinking boat, right, with all the water and just wrecked. But she was yelling and screaming in terror. She was screaming like at the top of her lungs, my love, our house has burnt down. It caught on fire. It caught so fast, so quick, I couldn't even gather any of our stuff or belongings. The house and the fire kept growing and growing, and even took our entire garage and the sun porch and everything we had. Right? Everything's lost. They embraced each other with all their love and their pain and deep hugs and deep, and joy. And the husband responded, "It's all right, right? It's all right." And the wife sort of shouted back, "What do you mean it's all right, right? Or everything is lost? Didn't you hear me? Like our house was destroyed, gone forever." Like the fire, there's nothing left, it just blazed. Then the husband responded with all his love and compassion. "You see, just an hour ago we were lost at sea by this massive storm that capsized and wrecked by the waves and the rain and the thunder. But then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, with no direction of which way was home, where the shore was, a small smoke started to give us the answer we needed. Our house fire that destroyed everything was the guide that brought us home, back home to you. Without our house being destroyed by the fire, we would have died or been lost at sea." In the crucible of this ordeal, the family discovered a hidden strength they never knew existed. Right? How life and turmoil and adversity brought them back together. Their world, as they knew it, had been consumed and destroyed by the storms and flames. Disaster on both behalves, on both sides, right? Disasters. Yet, from the ashes emerged a resilience that forged in the fires of adversity. A storm and the waves and the crashing thunder and that nearly almost took out their boat, nearly claimed the father and the son's lives, miraculously was saved by their own home's fate. The fire that almost took the life of the wife and the mother, growing or raging tall enough for them to see miles and miles, onto the lake, into the water, and get that little glimmer of hope to pull and redirect, that boat. So almost destroying them, right? More of their personal possessions to ultimately give them guidance to shore, to steer them to the shore of safety, and to bring them, together. Ultimately, their home now burned, destroyed, all their possessions gone within hours, but now in tears and overjoyed and being together, uniting in family and love. Their journey was a stark reminder that life's greatest challenges are often harbored within the seeds of our greatest triumphs. Then, as they sat together in their blessings and what is most important in life, the memory that that fateful day would serve as a testament to each other. No matter what pain you're going through, somehow, some way, we're there for each other. Each of us will guide our family home to our heart, knowing that the challenges always bring amazing gifts and blessings that are more victorious than one could ever imagine. How's that for a pretty cool story from Guidepost? It was years ago, probably a good 20 or 30 years ago. and adversity, and how certain people's struggles. In this story, it's about a family, right? We have a struggle at the sea, but we also have a struggle at home as far as the fire and the burning. But then, right, the dad and the son not even thinking, right, as far as what's on the other side of this adversity. The wife with a burning house, frantic, right, and everything gone, lost, frantic and angry, and right, how could this happen? What was she thinking, right? But on the flip side, and how that brought husband and son back home. Amazing, amazing story from Guidepost, sharing as far as today on the Cliff Diver's Edge, adversity, but how do we rebound and springboard through that? Are you sad right now and have that firing, burning desire to become passionately happy? Are you looking to tear down the overgrown weeds that have plagued your life to discover your truest path and purpose so you can joyously dive in to your own glowing passion within 30 days? Well, hello, I'm Edison, and inside my metamorphosis from blurred to crystal clear Cliff Diver's Edge Academy, I designed a place for you to find your passion and purpose within 30 days. It's for the people looking to take one step, just that small little step towards having a reason, finding and doing what you love, waking up with a zest and a radiance and a purpose and a reason, and radiating the world with your light. And how cool is this? To ultimately give back, shine, and level up the family and friends around you. Inside the Academy answers the questions that men, women, husbands, fathers, wives, mothers, and all single people have about fears, worry, depression, no purpose, hating your job, in a rut, and so much, much more. Each section and module is filled with practical strategies you can use right away in your day to celebrate you and see it dramatically increase your own health, love, strength, and joyous radiance within 30 days. You are worth the work. To check out the program down below. In the Cliff Diver's Edge, let's cover like 3 steps to rebounding and springboarding your mind and your attitude in adversity. Are you ready? Grab your quill, your favorite notebook, your journal, and let's begin. Number 1. We're going to embrace the storm, just as the Father did in the storm and on the sea. Rather than like fighting against adversity, trying to accept it as like natural part of life. Like a storm, finding beauty in something, even as small as you can think. By embracing the challenge, you position yourself to empower it more effectively. Focus on staying grounded and like centered during these turbulent times, right? Just trying to find your best on embracing the storm. Okay, some of the next points will dive deeper a little bit into that. So number 2, find your inner compass, right? Almost like the dad that lost their GPS or their compass and their navigational tools. Finding your inner compass. So adversity can be dishonoring, right? It could take time to reconnect. It could wipe us out. It could put us in a rut for a few weeks, a few months, whatever it is. If it's a health issue, it's a relationship issue, or the loss of a job, a lot of empty nesters find this as well. On that, where the kids leave home and now you're thinking, okay, now what? But then, one day turns into 6 months, turns into 2 years, right? And you're still, haven't really found your passion and your purpose. So we're trying to find your inner compass, in adversity. So taking the time to reconnect with core values and beliefs. What truly matters to you? What gives your life purpose? By aligning your actions with your values, you find a sense of direction and clarity. So perhaps it's time to go deeper with a family member. Sometimes little adversities, we have to dig a little bit into those and see like what true blessings can shine through. Perhaps it's the high laws of the universe guiding you more to delve into your own ikigai and not please everyone else all the time and put yourself last. Number 3, Number 3 is we're going to cultivate resilience. Resilience is the ability to use gravity, weight, power, negativity, and then bounce and catapult your way on top and over the adversity you were once in, right? That's really the sort of the mindset we're trying to put ourselves in. So how do you build resilience? Well, I'll cover this in 2 ways. As a cliff diver, we keep working on what we call like a 3-hop hurdle. And maybe you've seen it in cliff diving or springboard diving, whether it's at competitions on YouTube or maybe in the Olympics. But basically, a diver takes these little 3 hops. The first hop is a little step. The second hop is a little longer hop. And the third hop is like a long, big jump up. So we land on the end of that board for all your weight and everything so it could springboard us way up in the air. The last bounce is so high and strong that when we hit that board and we land on that board with so much might and power, we're ready for that rocket and that liftoff. In life, we can do this by practicing self-care. Setting realistic goals and learning from setbacks. And remember, like, hard times always precede boom times. So even on your journal, you could write that down if that inspires you, right? The stiffer the springboard, the higher the dive. Maybe you're in some type of health issue. Maybe you're in some job career change. Maybe you're moving and transitioning to a new city. So you can write that on your journal, in your notebook. The stiffer the springboard, the higher the dive. A catapult requires deep tension before, the launch. There's always transformation and people that have battled through adversity to break through and shine through. Today, I'm going to be talking of Alex Voyette. Okay, so in the realm of extreme sports like cliff diving, where courage and skill intertwine in a breathtaking dance with nature, few athletes have captured the world's imagination quite like Alex Voyette. Voyette's journey from a promising young swimmer to a cliff diving titan is a testament to the indomitable human spirit. People that have gone through something and they're hit with something else, and they're push through, and the resilience, right? And they, hurt their leg or injured their leg, and they push through and push through. So Voyette's aquatic odyssey began at a tender age. His hometown, nestled by an ocean, was his playground. So hours spent in the water honed his instincts and built an unbreakable bond with water, with swimming, with just, being one with the element of water. So swimming competitions followed, right? He started getting into swimming competitions, and he quickly established himself as like a rising star, somebody with great potential. So the world seemed to be like on the rise for him, right? So then came the storm. Right, we're talking about like adversity and stuff. So then came the storm. A severe training accident shattered Voyette's dream. A broken back and a prognosis of never walking again cast a long, dark shadow over his life. The once vibrant young swimmer was confined to a hospital bed, and the world sort of reduced to a like sterile, confined, room where we couldn't even move, probably, for months, especially even recovery on a back, right? You're sitting there and in pain. So, with some types of adversity, depression started creeping in. It's a silent and insidious, companion, right? What am I going to do? How am I going to get through this and stuff like that? So once gleaming, aspirations were replaced by a haunting question like, what now? Should I even push on? What's the sense? What's life all about? Things like that. Yet amidst the despair, a flicker of defiance and defiance remained, and the competitive spirit started to brew. And the love of the water, these were his deep passions as a kid, as a child growing up, like swimming and then competitions. So they started to, rebuild again. Started putting together goals to say, I am going to swim again, right? I am going to do this and this and this. So he just waiting for that right moment, right? For the rehab and the day of pushing through. So Physical rehabilitation was grueling ordeal. As he noted, each day was a battle, like slow and painful climb back to just being normal, right? Just to maybe even moving his toes or his fingers. But Voyette was not content with normalcy, right? Just being normal, being what would be called like a general or conformity. I don't know what word that is. So his mind started unyielding the envision of a future and a future beyond recovery. So he began to visualize and started doing visualizations through his painstaking therapy. So daily he would start his visualizations, his body moving, swimming, running into the ocean, things like that. So once he started doing that, month after month, right, he started getting into his physical rehab. So he started to like walk again. But the dream was once shattered, was now being like meticulously pieced back together. So years of audacious like therapy followed with like unwavering determination. Now he was starting to put his mind, at work, right? Visualizing his success, moving, walking, overcoming, his back injury, swimming, things like that. So Voyette defined medical expectations. Right now, he started superseding his time frame when he could walk and maybe like lift things or run and stuff. So he started getting faster and quicker on his recovery. Soon he learned to walk again and then to run. But the ultimate goal is the leap of faith from a dizzying lengths. So he took his love for the passion of the water and he said, well, I'm going to start cliff diving, right? Sorry, I'm going to actually do this one better as far as overcoming. And it was just amazing, right? We take adversity and saying, well, I have a little setback, but I was here last year. How do I take it 10 times better? So he started practicing and seeing himself diving and leaping from all these dizzying like heights. It seemed like a distant, impossible, dream for others, but he was steadfast on his vision. Yet the pool in the ocean was irresistible to Alex. With the help of a dedicated team that started forming around him, Voyette began to explore the possibilities of cliff diving. So not only swimming and enjoying the water, but how could he enjoy the water at a different level? And cliff diving, right? Now we're taking some aerials and learning flips and somersaults and twists and backflips and gainers and all that. So it was a journey fraught with challenges, not only physically with a broken back, and the demands were immense, and the psychological barriers. Right, we have to overcome physical barriers, but the psychological barriers. Fear was a constant companion. And Alex credits this fear to his drive, right? He enjoyed swimming so much, enjoyed the sport, but with the fear of a broken back, he took that fear and said, oh, what are most people like fearful of? And I was like, cliff diving, because so many people are afraid of heights, right? You go to somewhere, I was years ago in Chicago, and they had that huge building with the glass on the 82nd floor, 67th floor, whatever that is for Chicago. And a lot of people are just so fearful to walk, on the glass, or you oversee the big city. So Voyette started saying, well, if people are fearful of of heights, how can I overcome those fears? So Voyette was undetermined. He trained relentlessly, pushing his body and mind to the limits, finding mentors that would jump higher and on these cliffs at such precision and such beauty, right, that he learned from them, studied from them. So his first jump was just like a watershed moment. It was just from the little edge. And then the next one a little taller, and then the next one a little taller. Each one sort of breaking the boundaries of his fears where he was, last month or a year ago with his broken back, and the doctors and the, nurses saying he'll never walk again. When he started walking, he started visualizing and putting his mind to use, right? And then he also said, what are people fearful of? And it's like, well, heights. Everyone's like fearful of heights. And he's like, well, how can I overcome that fear? So the world watched in awe as Voyet defied gravity over the years and shattered a lot of different stereotypes. His story became a beacon of hope in countless individuals facing adversity. All right, how do you push through? How does someone see, somebody that was in so much pain and misery, like a broken back, couldn't even move, right, and break through that and use that as inspiration, taking that fear and breaking through the fear of soaring through the air, right? Cliff diving through the air when all this beautiful acrobatic arrays was just a testament to the human spirit of resilience. Voyet's journey is far from over, and the challenges continue, right? The bar is raised, higher and higher in cliff diving, right? We take one from a 5 meter, which is 15 feet, and we take it up, to 10 meter, to 30 feet, okay? And now we have all these towers in Utah and Fort Lauderdale that are 93 feet, like the cliff diving, Red Bull cliff diving. Right, it's like 93 feet. So we keep raising the bar on fear, physical accomplishments and goals and things like that. The one thing remains constant: determination. Right, living, breathing embodiment of a belief with courage, perseverance, mindset, and visualizations, and an unyielding spirit. Even the most daunting obstacles can be conquered. It's time here on the Cliff Diver's Edge to take the leap off the perch, whether it's 10 foot, 30 foot, 60 feet, and let's challenge your perspective. Adversity often distorts our perception of reality. So now we need to get out like our favorite journaling notebooks, our books, and your best, quill. Let's question the negative thoughts and beliefs that are holding onto you, almost like chaining you, down. It's like you've bounced on the springboard and somehow it's got stuck on the bend downward. And for weeks and even months, you turn around and you start screaming and complaining at the plastic and the flexible material, the springboard, right? It's almost like that, right? Your focus is here. This is all right. And so now we're going to be changing your perspective. Are your thoughts and beliefs based on facts or assumptions? This is a good one to write out, right? Are these facts or the assumptions? Right. Are there alternative perspectives to consider? This is a great question to ask as well. Is there alternative? Sometimes when we go to therapy or like sessions or even group sessions, like circle meetings, you'll say somebody said this and this, and I never thought about that. So what's true? And can you find faults in them? So write them down. Another great therapy lesson is always like write down, is this true or is this false? And can you find faults in your statements? And by challenging your thoughts and your patterns, you begin to shift your mindset towards like springboard or bouncing up like high and soaring with all your passion and your excitement throughout life, just being so like radiantly alive. Just this week I caught myself saying, this project is tough and it's been months of struggle, and then I hit my cut anchor, right? Being in Hollywood for over a decade and having just such a nice love for movie making and Hollywood and everything that's involved with Los Angeles is one of my anchors I set up years and years ago to get out of bad time management and procrastinations and needed a state change is like action, like a director on the set, and cut. And my anchor was hit. And I wrote out my focus, right? Instead of on the springboard, complaining, and turning into, I rewrote out my focus and my redirection on the project. Cultivating gratitude in even the darkest of times, there are things to be grateful for. When we're focusing on gratitude, we can shift your attention away from negativity and towards positivity, and start making a list of things that you're really, really grateful for, no matter how small. Or you could even flip it on the adversity you're going through and say, I love this, I love that, I'm so appreciative of this, I really enjoy this and this and this. This practice can find you deeper in like meaning and purpose, even in the midst of adversity. So it's such a mind change, right? It's such a switch. So even a small hop starts the material of the springboard and the vibration of the bouncing. Getting back to cliff diving. Once we take that little step on that board, if we're on a 3-meter springboard, right, and we do that little bounce, at the end of that board, it's going to already start that bounce. And then with that momentum and a discipline, it gets bigger and expands. If we're doing that 3-hop hurdle, 1 bounce, 2 bounce, and then here we go on that 3rd, we're going to hit that board and really lay into that board, bend those knees, and then off we go, right? And you start that upward spiral of life. Now, if you haven't seen my upward spiral of life video, I'll try to link it, down below. But it's the Cliff Diver's Edge, and it's the upward spiral. No matter where we're at in life, there's an upward spiral. If we're doing good and we're really, blissful of life, there's still other levels we can get to even more, happiness and bliss. If we're sad, right, and if we're frustrated, we go and take it from frustrated to a little bit up. There's always an upward spiral life. And I learned this from Brian Tracy years and years ago. He had a phenomenal section in one of his sales courses, and it was all about the upward spiral of life. Once we do one habit, that habit's going to set up another habit. Once we do those 1 and 2 habits, it's going to set up another ritual and a habit. And see, now we get better and better and better. Things we never did, right? Doing our Insta-Iki, right? Doing our Ikigai, the very first thing in the morning, right? We do that the first 30 seconds every morning, and then it's going to set up something else, right? And it's going to set up, now we're on this upward spiral, right, of just growing and expanding. A few years back, my office was next to a little river and a lake. It was pretty nice, a little setup. So I got to say, my business had some pretty bad times. Long hours followed by lack of sales and income. So my gratitude was walk over to the river and watch these little baby ducks and the beautiful little animals all around. It was amazing. What a great space for me to break. We're talking about, right, looking at the springboard and being in that sort of turmoil and adversity, and changing and switching gears. It was a great space for me to enjoy nature and focus on, what do I love? What am I grateful for? What gifts am I about to receive? And such a great thing, these little baby ducks, just, and then they jump in the water. It's just so I took the time to challenge the perspective, right? And that's what we were talking about, challenging the perspective that owning a business is hard and why there's so many difficulties and struggles, and transformed into, what do I love? What drives me? What love can I allow more of into my life? What can I learn from this? Take the example from before. We are talking about the lake and the storm from the husband and the son, and the fire from the house. The boat trip, the storm, the striking, the loss at sea, and the wife and the mother at home, and all the possessions, blazing away. So delve deep into your current challenges, that you're facing. What lessons can be extracted? Write it on a mirror, write it on a big post-it note. What lessons can be extracted? How can this experience shape you into stronger, wiser individual? Years ago, there's a little picture. It was pretty cool, and Star Wars did it as well. Maybe they copied off of it. but it was a person standing on a brick wall, and their shadow was Superman or Superwoman, right? It was pretty cool. And then I think Star Wars came out years later, where it had Anakin, right, and that little hut, and his shadow, his shadow was Darth Vader. It was pretty cool. So we want to make sure that we see how can the experience shape us into a stronger, wiser individual. Who am I becoming, right? Next year, like if I get through this next year, who can I be? Who can I teach, and who can I share with you? Maybe you have a YouTube channel yourself, and you're saying, like, if I can get through this, this, and this, and this, all right, and I can teach others to do that, right? It'll make other people's lives better and happier and more fulfilling. All right. What beauty am I about to receive? And now one of my favorites, and going back to Alex Voyette, who broke his back as a young kid, right? Hospitalized, or visualizations. This is the positive outcomes. You get to visualize anything. Even as a kid, I always loved, closing my eyes and seeing and like celebrating victory. Whether it was like I played basketball, or did track and field, business as well, like, oh, success. Getting into what a lot of people call experientialize it, right? Feel it, smell it, taste it, see it, and hear it, right? Get all your senses involved again. Once again, it's like feeling it, smelling it, tasting it, hearing it, trying to get all your modalities, like sensing that new, vibrant you, like Voyette, right? Cliff diving or swimming again, even though someone says you'll never ever walk again. Right. So once again, we're going to be like trying to experientialize it for your visualization. Close your eyes, seeing your goals, accomplish it, success, but feel it, smell it, somehow taste it, hear it, get into that winning state. Imagine the beauty that can emerge from this situation. Focus on potential opportunities, personal growth, and newfound strengths, and allow your imagination to run wild, sometimes even on goal setting. All right, we could write out certain things, when we're visualizing. I'm now this. I'm so happy I did this, and this. So, what amazing lesson as far as visualizing, and Alex sort of teaching us as far as putting the mind to use. What amazing gifts is the universe going to line up for me? Open your mind to the idea of unexpected blessings. Consider what kind of gifts would be most meaningful for you right now. Then trust in the universe and the timing to allow yourself to receive with gratitude. To truly leverage the power of adversity, it's essential to cultivate a growing mindset. This involves viewing setbacks as a learning experience rather than failures. And I won't cover it too much in this, but how often we look back last week or the week before and said, I failed, right? I didn't do this, or we're down on ourselves, or we're, down and out. And then we watch like Netflix or, and just sort of splurge, for weeks, because you want to avoid, those things. How often does that happen? So by focusing on progress rather than perfection, we can maintain our motivation and momentum. Additionally, practicing gratitude can shift our perspective, allowing us to appreciate the silver lining amidst the life storms, right? The little beacon of the cloud smoke way, miles and miles away. And we're going to, steer and really push our yacht or our vessel in that direction. Adversity is not a deterrent, but a catalyst for personal evolution. By embracing challenges with courage and resilience, we springboard, right? We springboard our potential and create a great life of meaning and purpose. Finding your hidden gift in adversity you never seen coming. One of the most unwavering paths to finding your ikigai, your purpose, your significance, is to master the art of carving out your own beauty and shining through the imperfections. This journey is a testament to your determination to shape your destiny. This journey is a testament to your determination to shape your destiny. And it's a pursuit that leads you to the profound wellspring of passion and purpose in your life. I've taught hundreds of individuals and organizations how to zero in on their truest, most passionate meaning in life, going from a once cloudy and murky hurricane of confusion to horse racing on, blinders on, full tilt, zing, adore, zeal, and ear to ear, smiling in and throughout life. And you are worth the work and love to hop inside the course and get started in the link down below. Thank you for being you and honoring your truest self. If you haven't already, subscribe to the Cliff Diver's Edge channel. It would be the best investment you've had this year alone. Type down below your comments and thoughts and feedbacks on overcoming adversity, sort of seeing on the opposite side of it, seeing the hidden gifts. If you could, put in your hidden gifts or some of the adversity and the struggles that you've gone through, but then who you become, and write them down below. We'd love to hear them and see and learn from them as this community grows, right? So if you see another comment, please respond to it, right? Just helping everyone sort of scale up somehow on every aspect of our lives here at the Cliff Divers